Hello, YouTubers. My name is Naya, and I wanted to thank you for checking out my video. It's actually the first video that I've done for about hair, period, natural hair, hair care products. I'm a newbie at this, but I was inspired to do it just because over the past month, through seeking some just help out of desperation, I discovered this naturally curly hair care community that I should have discovered a long time ago, since I actually did my second big chop, but my first big committed chop back in May of 2011. So pretty much the purpose of this video and what sort of made me say, I just really want to do this, is to share the tips, some valuable tips for people that are newbies and novices to going natural, and also for people that are considering going natural, who, you may have a relaxer right now and you're thinking about making that transition over to the other side, and just wearing your natural hair texture, or straightening your natural hair instead of having the relaxed hair. So I'm hoping that the tips that I'm going to share with you will help you avoid some of the heartbreak that I've experienced going natural the second time around, but the first time genuinely committed. And some of the heartbreak, it's a great amount of joy in going natural, but there are some stresses that I think could have been alleviated for me if I would have really engaged a lot more information instead of being sort of a solo flyer. So the first thing I want to say is I've actually, like I said, I did the big chop back in May of 2011. And I stress committed because actually I attempted to go natural back in, I believe it was 2006. I always wore my hair like a short pixie cut, a vintage Halle Berry pixie cut, but it was relaxed. So one time I just had the idea to do some braids. And once they took the braids out, there was so much new growth that I was able to see this beautiful natural hair texture that I had not seen since maybe, I think it was 5th grade, when my father sent me to my uncle's salon to get my first relaxer. So I hadn't seen my hair texture since then, and I was amazed. So I said, let's go with it. That was back in 2006 when it reached this sort of this in between of a short and a medium fro. It looked really strange on me with my face shape. So I said, get out of here, put the relaxer back in, give me my pixie cut back. And in May of 2011, I was like, I'm not going back, and that had been caused by 2 consecutive bad touch-up situations at expensive salons here in the New York City area, where my hair was over-processed with the touch-up in there, and it was just a lot of damage. And I said, I'm done. I'm out of it. And so I tried to transition. So the first thing I want to talk about is if you're thinking about transitioning between a relaxer and going to your natural hair texture and not doing the big chop. So when I was trying to transition between the end of 2010 going into early 2011, at the time when I was trying to do it, there were not these awesome hair care lines that are out right now. That they're actually just sort of coming out right now, that are helping people to transition or easing the stress of transitioning these 2 very different hair textures. I didn't have that available to me back in May of 2010, 2011. I tried to transition without doing the big chop. It was very high maintenance. It was crazy. That's the only thing that I could use for it. So me personally, and maybe it's because I just have this huge background of cutting all my hair off in the first place, over and over again, even though it was when I was wearing a relaxer. I just have trained my mind to cut my hair off to begin with. So therefore, not to say it doesn't hurt, especially when I didn't know I needed to cut it off. I did the big chop after trying to transition without doing the big chop. So one of the biggest mistakes that I've made in going natural, and this is the biggest mistake, and I really hope that you avoid making my mistake, and that is abusing heat. So right after I did this committed big chop in May of 2011, I immediately wanted to see my natural hair pressed, which was something else I had not seen since I believe I was like in fourth grade or so. I'm remembering things by grades instead of ages, but anyways, I just did not, I wanted to see my hair pressed. And so it just put me on this cycle of where I would go through long periods of time and religiously straightening my hair. One day I woke up and I realized that 50% of the length of my hair was actually straight. There was no curl to it at all. And the other 50%, which was the new growth area, was curly. And it ended up looking pretty crazy, actually. It's like, and it dawned on me, okay, I think I've heat damaged my hair in the sense of I've used the flat iron so much that my curl pattern is permanently gone. And guess what? Third big chop on the way. But not so much a big chop, but every precious inch that you cut off. Us girls love our hair. The precious length that you cut off when you're wanting to grow your hair out, it hurts. So when it dawned on me that I had used so much heat on my hair that I have permanently gotten rid of my curl pattern for so much of the length of my hair, back to the salon we go. This is recently, so I realized I needed to do another somewhat big chop, maybe like, I think it was November, I want to say of last year, October, November of 2013. So I went to the salon and basically on the past, I think it's maybe 5 or 6 months, I've gotten about between 5 to 6 inches cut off of my hair. It's just, I'm laughing now, but when I realized that I had to do this, my heart was breaking. I was not laughing. I was actually upset with myself for not realizing something. And my tip to you is that, listen, if you are wanting to go natural, to just stop being a slave to the relaxer, but you still want to wear your hair straight, commit to that. Just commit that, and I saw one day years ago when I was in the salon and I was still getting relaxer treatments, I saw a young lady come into the salon who she had already gone natural, but she always kept her hair pressed and her hair was down to just at her waist. Or maybe a little bit below her waist. But the thing was that she had committed to straightening her hair. She was not wearing her natural curly hair texture, and that was fine. I wasn't committed to that. I wanted to go between the two, like, maybe on the weekends I want to wear my hair curly, and I just kept straightening it so much where, one day I just realized curl is gone. So commit to naturally straight or naturally straightening your hair to give you a natural sort of relaxed curl look as opposed to using the chemical to get that look, or commit to wearing your natural hair texture. If you're going to commit to wearing the naturally curly hair texture, I understand if you want to straighten it for maybe, taking a couple of days or so or something to straighten it, just to break up, just do something different. But I wouldn't recommend that doing that consecutively for too many days in a row. Like I would max it out between like 5 to 7 days, period. And I would only do that maybe once every 3 to 6 months. Once every 3 to 6 months. And this is something that the hair care manufacturers are really getting a hold of right now, and that is trying to specifically manufacture products that are really good for protecting that natural curl pattern when you're going between curly and straight, so that the flat iron does not permanently get rid of that curl pattern. That's called heat damage. But tip number 1, commit either way. If you're committing to wearing the naturally curly hair texture, if you're going to be doing some straightening to your hair, limit that severely, and keep it, space it out over months. Seriously, I'm just borderline petrified of using heat. And I recently bought like a brand new flat iron, really nice flat iron, but I've used it. I used it like 3 weeks ago, and I don't even know the next time I will use it again. That's just how I don't want my hair to be damaged anymore. Okay, so moving on to another thing that you need to understand when you are going natural, and this is huge, is understanding your hair texture. So, and it's going to lead me to my second biggest stress of going natural. Understanding your hair texture is huge when you're going natural. And the reason why I say that is because products that are formulated for naturally curly, naturally wavy, naturally coily hair are very specifically formulated. So for instance, my hair texture, I have a lot of extremes in my hair texture. One, and I don't have the best webcam. I'm using the webcam that came with this computer because I normally shoot with a different camera, but for this type of dialogue, I thought, using the webcam would be the best. So please forgive the lack of sort of finite detail to the hair pattern here. But I just want to point out, like, my hair texture I have very fine hair. I have a lot of hair on my head, but the strands themselves are very fine. Also, I have very dry hair. Like, my hair is so dry that I will go to a salon that is used to putting lots of moisture in their clients' hair. And I remember a stylist saying to me, even though I'm used to putting moisture in hair and moisturizing hair, your hair is sucking up the moisture more so than I've ever seen. That's how dry my hair is. So I have fine, dry hair. Also, I have, as far as the curl pattern is concerned, this middle section here it forms like a U, and you can sort of see this here. If I come closer, you will see that hair itself it's basically just about straight. Okay. It's not, it's slightly wavy. As one of my colleagues told me, you have just a very slight wave pattern there. That has nothing to do with heat. That's just how that hair is naturally growing in. And then if I sort of show you around the crown here, if I can get a little closer here, you'll see it's sort of coily, wavy, spirally. It's around this sort of, so like this sort of portion here, it's literally a mix of wavy spirally, and coily curls. That is like type 3 to type 4 curls in my head, which is very fine, very dry hair. So my second biggest stress is finding hair care products. And my sort of assumption, since I, used to the hair care products treating the relaxed curly hairstyles, is that hair care manufacturers can actually sort of formulate products that really service a lot of different hair types when they're sort of catering to a relaxed curl pattern. So that's really the mainstream curl pattern in our world today. Most of the celebrities, no matter what their ethnicities are, their hair is like a relaxed curl look that they're wearing. Nobody is walking around wearing absolutely bone straight hair. It's like hair that's blending the straight and the curly. The very curly, the very wavy, the very coily hair is sort of breaking into the mainstream right now. But with the hair care manufacturers, how they handle this is that these products that they're manufacturing for, people that are wearing their naturally wavy to curly to coily hair, they're very specifically formulated products for a specific hair type, like specific. So I had to get that in my head through repeated trial and error. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I had that trial and error, and I probably could have avoided I would say 70% of that trial and error if I would have done one of the tips I'm going to give you at the end. But the biggest thing is that the products are specifically formulated for a specific hair type. So that means that you have to do some research. My favorite website right now, period, in the world of all the websites out there is naturallycurly.com. I love naturallycurly.com. It is awesome. And it really directs you how to understand your hair type, and most importantly, the products to buy for your hair type. And I have different hair types in my head, so I'm really dealing with, just trying to find the perfect product cocktail. So today I'm just going to tell you real quick what I have in my hair. For my temporary substitute for a leave-in, I have the Tresemme Flawless Curls Conditioner in my hair. This is a great, washout conditioner. It's a good substitute for a leave-in. I don't believe that you should use it as your leave-in. Some people do. I understand why. Tresemme's conditioners for curly hair are awesome. Love them. I'm going to try to use a new leave-in conditioner tomorrow. I am a product junkie. I am an absolute product junkie, okay? So what I have in is my definer right now is this Design Essentials Curl Enhancing Mousse. So when I saw that Design Essentials had created a line for naturally curly hair, automatically got my attention. And the reason why is because I had used, or when I was in college, the salon that I would go to sometimes, they use Design Essentials relaxers, and I just remember just beautiful results that their relaxer would have on my hair, and I just never forgot that. And that was like college years, which was quite some time ago for me now. So it was just when I saw this, and this is I've used a number of products from their natural hair care line. This is my favorite one right here, the Curl Enhancing Mousse. With that stated, it doesn't matter how great products are, how good they are in their category. Another thing about natural hair care products is that they don't always work together really well. So it's like you may think that, just last week, one of my most recent horror stories with trying to style my natural hair is that I cocktailed, and that's the word that they use for it, I cocktailed two high-end products, a leave-in and a definer from two different brands, but they were high-end, they were expensive, and it was hilarious, the effect that this had on my hair. No more than maybe 2 minutes, when I was first putting the leave-in in and I was putting the styler product in, it looked like beautiful. 2 minutes later, as 2 minutes elapsed on each section that I was styling, here comes the white flakes, and then here comes this extremely sort of puffed, it was like curl pattern, wave pattern gone, puffed, soft, frizzy hair. It was really funny. I was like, oh my gosh, this was a disaster. Like, absolutely not. I cannot do this anymore. And it just proved for me that you have to really understand these products, who they're formulating the products for. And one thing I really love is that some of the manufacturers that are really used to making products for naturally curly hair, and when you go on naturallycurly.com and you go into their shop section, you can actually tell the manufacturers like Curl Junkie and Kinky Curly. They're like some veteran manufacturers in making products specifically for naturally wavy, naturally curly, and naturally coily hair. And their item descriptions will tell you how to use the hair for your specific curl pattern. It's great. So just understanding that it will save you so much time, so much. I would say just it'll cut down on the wasted time in product shopping. And if you're a product junkie, I'm going to say you're going to always be product shopping, but not because you sort of look like sort of it walking down the street because you used the wrong products one day. So that's second biggest stress. And just something I also want to point out is about the trims. So I know I've listened to a lot of girls that have gone natural, and they'll say, I only get a trim like every, 6 or every 6 months or once a year. And when I first did my first committed big chop, I remember my hair growing like wildfire after that chop. But I didn't go back and get my ends trimmed for maybe another, I want to say like 9 or 10 months. And I just remember one of my friends saying to me, your hair is not growing as fast as it used to when you first went and got your big chop. And I thought about it. I said, what's going on here? And I said, I need my ends trimmed. And I have watched this. I have gone periods where I don't get my ends trimmed for like 8 or 9 months. Slow growth. I go get them trimmed every 8 weeks. My hair is growing really well. I mean, just in general, things always need to be pruned. Your hair is essentially dead, and the deadest part of the hair is the oldest part of the hair, which are the ends. So my assumption is that you always need to sort of prune some of those ends, cut some of them off, trim some of them to keep the hair fresh and active and growing. That's just, for me, that's just what's worked. So I'm saying to you, understand how your hair needs, how those ends need to be maintained in the sense of trimming them. Okay? And almost done here. Another big thing, another big item that I hear a lot about is protective styling. What do I want to say about protective styling? I understand the reason for it is to give your hair a break from manipulating it and pulling it and, just giving your hair a break. I understand that. The protective styles that they use, back in the day, I used to be, I used to get sew-ins a lot because my sister does sew-ins. I would get them for free, micro braids. I don't really view those things as protective styles. I don't view pulling your hair to do a bun, pulling your hair to do locks or any of that. I don't view anything that's pulling the hair as protective. I just view it as just you sort of switching up and not having to do the daily maintenance that you need to do for, wear your natural curly hair. That's just me, because when I've done the braids, done the protective styling, did that, I didn't really see this huge difference in how my hair was growing. I didn't see a huge difference in the condition of my hair. Whatever you do with hair, whether it's braids, whether it's a sew-in, whether it's a bun, whether it's locks or whatever, you're still going to have to do some type of maintenance. That will never go away. You have to do some type of maintenance for whatever state or whatever style you're wearing your hair in. So therefore, it just, for me, I don't view it as protective styling. I view it as changing, just switching up and just giving me a break from the daily maintenance required for whatever type of hairstyle or however you wear your hair. When I wore my hair relaxed, I wanted a break from the daily maintenance of wearing relaxed hair. So I don't call it protective styling. I just call it styling to give you a break from whatever daily maintenance is required for how you're wearing your hair at the time. Do I recommend it? I don't recommend it. I just say if it's something that you want to do to give yourself a break, then by all means, do it. I don't think that it hurts, but I don't call it protective. Excuse me, just got a little bit in my throat there. So the final thing and the biggest point that I want to say in going natural is utilizing the natural community. So the natural community, the natural hair care community is just tremendous. Like I said, my favorite website is naturallycurly.com. Here on YouTube, they have tons of videos from women that have used, women and girls, because I like some of the young girls that the videos that they're doing, they're just as involved and understand how to maintain their natural curly hair as the grown ladies are. So I think that's pretty cool too. But the bottom line is that the naturally curly community, interacting with that, engaging in that, is going natural as a newbie, as you're considering going natural, is a tremendous asset. So with that stated, I just want to thank you once again for watching the video. Any tips you want to leave me, any questions, any comments, feel free to do so. And check out my next video whenever I put that up. Thank you.